Back with our second half hour of CCN Sunrise. We're going to have Union Station here. Grace Kim is going to tell us about a 5K that they are organizing for the homeless.
I think that's going to be great. And we also have Chef Gerard with the terrace at the Langham, so I'm looking forward to eating something that he makes too.
Yeah, we won't be eating a lot of Thin Mints though. Looks like there's a shortage.
I got mine.
Oh,
Don't
good.
even think you can get near
Dr.
mine.
Michelle, I bought one from her daughter, so I hope that's coming. But we're going to go jump right into the morning buzz, and we have History Professor John Frykenberg here, and we are talking about President Obama made a major speech at a summit to counter violent extremism, but not everyone was impressed with what he had to say. So I know one of those people is Rudy Giuliani. And you know, he's put out statements saying that I don't think Obama loves America. It baffles me that these people aren't understanding the extremists want a holy war, and I think Republicans want a holy war. But the fact is, the rest of us don't want a holy war. So how are we going to do this without just bombing everything to rubble and thinking that something's going to be accomplished?
I'm not sure that I have a solution to that. Bombing certainly, war is not your first preference. Nonetheless, the first job and most important job for the President of the United States is to protect the American people. And there's a lot of concern about violence and extremism in the world. And that extends from Libya, what we've seen in Egypt, and what's going on all over the Middle East right now.
The whole issue is just 50 shades of wrong. Just in every direction. There's no right way to be a terrorist.
Right, there is not.
But do you think that we need to be, he's not using the word Islam or Islamic terrorist.
Yeah.
Do you think that is the wrong course, that we need to label it that? I think we're not going to get moderate Muslims on board with this fight if we keep harboring on Islamic terrorists.
Well, I think the peaceful Muslims also need to speak up for themselves and say that they're against this.
And Obama called them out on that.
Yeah, and I think that the real problem there is that you have to name your enemy in order to deal with it. And if they're extremist Islamists, then you have to identify them. Otherwise, who is your enemy and what are you going to do about it?
Right. It's no different than the bombers in Ireland.
Exactly. And we know what some of those terrorist groups are. And they include Hezbollah, they include ISIS, they include Al-Qaeda. Now, who are all of these people?
But
they say that they speak for Islam, and maybe many of them do not speak for Islam, as the president has indicated. However, the point is that they are speaking for somebody.
Well, in their leadership, some other form of leadership should step up on their behalf.
And I agree with you. And I think what is happening and what they are trying to do by taking the Islam out is that they're giving support to the Islamic community, to Muslims, to stand up. But if it's so kind of focused on Islamic terrorists, well then all Muslims kind of get thrown into it, and then they don't know who they're standing up for. Are they standing up against the right here in America? Is that who they're supposed to stand up against, or are they standing up against their own? So if we want them to stand up against their own so that we're not fighting this holy war, then we need to support them by not lumping them all together. And I think that's the problem going on right now.
If we can make that distinction, I would absolutely agree with you. The problem is making that distinction and naming the enemy. Otherwise, how are you going to deal with it entirely?
We have to name the enemy.
Well, they've named themselves Islamic State, and I think we need to take back that from them, is what I think is trying to happen. I know you have a lot more to say about this, and
we'll have you back to
we sure will. So much to say with this topic. It's been out there. Thanks for joining us, John.
Thank you.
Well, one nonprofit has definitely made a significant impact in Pasadena.
Grace Kim tells us about Union Station's 5K for the homeless next.